Hello, once again. It's Travis, and this chapter is about demystifying childcare. Now, this is not about single motherhood, which is incredibly hard. Any single parent, including single fathers, I can only imagine that it would be an absolute nightmare, and I'm thankful that I don't have that scenario on my hands. I'm happy to be one of two people that are designated to care for Hemingway Hobart Straw, our baby boy. I assume I will get to uh, experience temporary single fatherhood as Amanda may go on trips or do things as she pleases, and I will happily do the duty, which is taking care of the child while she's gone, and I'm sure it'll be very difficult. This chapter is about a life, a parenthood that has two people. So, of course, I know nothing about single childhood. Single childhood? Excuse me. I meant single parenthood. So, if you have a significant other, you probably have heard that probably from everybody, like everybody. I think I mentioned it before. Our doctor said it was going to suck. My dad said it was going to be baby Vietnam. My big brother and his wife had a difficult time with their baby because she was just um, a nuclear bomb of sorts. I experienced it myself. She's a very I love my niece. She was a difficult baby, and that's a fact. So from my mom's side, though, she loved it, right? And no dissing my dad, but he wasn't super helpful. So my mom took care of four kids and would have had a fifth. I call her uh, the Michael Jordan of motherhood. You know, she's she can do uh, nothing is impossible. All things are doable. My mom does not know the scenario where she wouldn't be able to work out a solution. So I'm thankful to have her as my mom. And I kind of have that in me 100%. And since Amanda and I talked endlessly, because I'm a big talker, I like to workshop things with her and talk about generally anything. But with our first child, I wanted to be prepared. And I want to tell you that I think the biggest thing that I think the reason that people have a hard time is that they may have not gone through the ego death piece. Some part of them thinks that they'll be able to squirrel away some me time in a way that, like a pre-baby me time, you know, that part of you, they're still keeping that part of themselves alive or hope that that will be a thing. They weren't fully committed to becoming a a team to serve this little child, because that's essentially what it is. In order to have the baby, you have to go through the ego death and accept that you'll become someone entirely new. You'll be able to have time to yourself, of course, depending on what the situation is. If through all the chapters I've said, if you've executed those things, and I think you're prepared. But I mean, I think that most people off the bat don't have the tools, don't prepare, and and this is not a diss, inherently selfish. Um, I think most people are selfish, and being selfish doesn't really go hand in hand with having a baby, because a baby demands all things. And there's no option. The minute you start saying no to the baby, the minute you start going to war with this baby, who will win, because it will not relent. It will get louder and fussier until you get it what it wants. Rightfully so. So I don't think I think that there are some couples that go into parenthood that are woefully unprepared and haven't experienced the ego death, and therefore will be disappointed when they find out that it is in fact impossible without sacrificing critical things. I think it's impossible to continue to be your former self. So let's say you've done the ego death, you've talked to your significant other and everything, you feel prepared. And when I started hearing all from everyone, like literally only my mom was like, "Oh yeah, it's great. I think you'll handle it fine." Um, just be prepared for the dynamic, the chaos, expect that. And it's not bad. Just expect that it'll be whenever the baby cries, it'll be random, it'll be dynamic, it'll be chaos. And like I think I've mentioned before, I've kind of thrived in chaos. So as it got closer and closer, I was like taking apart what it is, like demystifying the child care. I will, let's say, we will sleep when the baby sleeps. That was what we thought at first. Sleep when the baby sleeps. Easy enough. Um, and when it's awake, there's only a few problems, normal problems that will arise. The baby will either need to be fed, need to be cleaned up, need to be burped. And that's generally it. So, outside of that realm, if the baby is too hot, right, anything outside of that, just call the doctor. Always call it. Don't even hesitate. Just call the doctor. So, it seemed simple to me in execution. I don't see why it would suck, but I do. Like I said, I mentioned before, if you went into like this whole thing without doing the steps that I've like put before you, it would suck. But for me and Amanda, we had already discussed and gone through these, and now the baby's here, and we are starting at zero and growing into our new selves. So as a unit, so the only thing left to do was to hold the baby, love the baby, change the baby, feed the baby. When it falls asleep, let it fall asleep away from you. You don't want it to fall asleep on you all the time, because then it will get used to being in the warm, cozy position and won't want to go into the cold, hard bassinet or wherever without you. And that's really it. And I'm happy to say, from this position of both of us are on leave from work, so we're not going to work. I'm sure this will get more difficult even still, but we'll just adjust, right? So at this time, which is I think the least stressful configuration, Amanda's not working, I'm not working. So we split it up into shifts. Amanda wakes up around 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. I wake up, and that's about when I go to bed. I wake up from around like 11 to 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Amanda will go to bed at about 8 p.m. and I'll go to bed, around the time she wakes up. So we have significant time together, and we also have significant time just one-on-one with the baby, which I think is good. And this has allowed us to both get plenty of sleep, hone our baby skills, and also challenge ourselves to every day go out, not every day, every other day, whatever frequency, to go out, to explore, to challenge ourselves, to walk, and to be unafraid, to calculate. Of course, we're not going to, fly to Vegas and wheel them around smoky casinos, but we will go to the beach. We will go to the Presidio. We'll go on walks. We'll go get food with him. We'll go to the store, because the last thing we want to do is develop the opposite, which is anxiety, a closedness, and the increased fear can work against you and harden and become very, very hard to change. And that's something that I did not want to do. I didn't want to get hunkered down in fear. And that's always been my whole goal. My whole thing has been do not submit to fear, because it's always terrible. And for the most part, like giving into fear kind of feels numb and good. Like, oh, we don't have to go out today. The baby needs to be inside. The baby needs to be safe. The baby might get, and then it just escalates into nonsense and craziness that will only serve to break you and the family unit down. So that's really it. That's baby care demystified for us. In your scenario, you will have undoubtedly something different. Maybe one of you works, one of you doesn't, both of you work, and it will be something completely different than mine. I want you to remember that none of this is a testament that I am the number one know-all of all things. I know nothing, right? I'm brand new, but you will be too. And every parent is really brand new. We only get to do this once or a handful of times, and then it's gone. Like then it's gone forever. Like we are parents of little tiny people for only a short time. So my ultimate message to you is that it's okay, and you can control the chaos by anticipating those few steps you need to do. It'll never be anything crazier than that. And if it is, if he's too hot or if he if he cries for too long, like just go to the doctor. Don't even hesitate. Don't fear being dumb or feeling stupid, because we all are dumb and stupid as parents, no matter what. So the future dynamic problems will be when I go back to work in November. And luckily, Amanda will still not be working until January, but I still want to help. I'll have to figure out my sleep schedule and Amanda hers. But the key thing is communication, and always talk to your spouse and always be honest. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't be petty. Don't start fights. You already have something crazy. You already have something crazy to take care of. Don't start little fights. Why? Love each other. Hug each other for a long time. Tell each other you love them and that you're thankful for them, and do your best to be there for each other. That's it. All right. One more chapter. Thank you for listening. I'm Travis Stroh.